Let's go live, guys. Let's put some music while I'm trying to find all of that equipment, the cards, etc. So there is like something new. It's Ixon Anywhere Tropical House. So let's see how you like this tune. Ooh, it's a little bit loud. Volume down. Hope everybody's doing okay. This is me eating peanut butter cup. What are you guys eating? It should be emoji for peanut butter cup. This is unfair. But I wanted to display heart, not to type heart. What? It stopped already? So let's play it one more time. I'm still not done. One more time. Let's do it. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Records here. This is my leg, guys. That's how bad it was. Sexy, huh? Showing you my nudes. Let me show you some other nudes of Mr. Tiger. He got his groom. That's the pose from his groomer daycare. He was this before groom. Kind of like, what's going to happen to me? And then this is a pretty boy after the groom. He likes, oh my gosh, he likes grooming. He's like so metrosexual. That's unbelievable. And then let me show you some cutie over here. That's how Safi and I sleep. He just likes to take my pulse and just like fall asleep like that. Okay, so let's go. Kylie had a great week. Finally somebody. Oh, tribal dancing, music therapy. That sounds amazing. Yeah, he was. Barbie, he goes to a groomer and he goes with a paw like that. Not like give a paw, but like stretch a paw because he wants his nails done. Like, he's so freaking gay. Well, not really. He likes girls. So he's probably metrosexual. He just likes his nails done. So that's kind of like cute. What is with this music? How long is this going to last? How long? How much longer? Oh, just a few more seconds. So I'm going to put a little bit more down over here so we can start. Man, like imagine, and I thought the winter is over and splat! It's good thing like it's not swollen, so they're telling me it's not that bad. I'm like, oh my god, I can barely walk, and I'm on the 3rd floor. We don't have an elevator, so every step it's like kind of like icky. So enough of the crap. Barbie, I had something, so let's this last week be gone. It's just like I have this reminder that I need 2 to 4 Advils per day. So let's start. Happy birthday to Pisces. So Pisces is kind of like going through the season. I don't know if you noticed, it's very dreamy. So it was dreaming for me. I just really just walked in my thoughts, and that's when things happen, right? So we're going to start with Pisces, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you have any Pisces over here. So let's see what is in the store for you guys over here. So let's do it. Well, I'm okay, except, you know, Tiger has to have help now, so I'm getting a girl to walk him. He's getting used to, kind of a thing. Oh, car broke down. Ugh, that's one of those things. Anything that has to do with motion and computer, cars, knees, it's a living hell. So sorry to hear this. Somebody also kind of like over the Christmas dinked my car. I don't know if that's the right word, because there's a little thing just under the light that I noticed missing, and so I reported it to the cops, and the cops said, are you sure you didn't have an accident? Jesus, really, right? So Pisces, this is you. Queen of Cups coming through. Queen of Cups coming through. Ooh, and the Empress. Man, you're enjoying your birthday. Let's see the third one. Hopefully it's not going to crap on it. Nope, 3 of Wands. So it's all freaking absolutely perfect over here. So I really, really like this. Yep, dreamy rose-tinted glasses season. I just want to daydream or get lost in my thoughts. So guys, use the positive of it. Just write all your dreams. It's really good for that kind of like long-term goals, kind of like paint a movie about yourself, write your own obituary during Pisces season. So Pisces, you too. And the reason why you have to write your obituary, well, you don't have to, it will be good, is you're kind of like realizing the wrong of your ways and the good of your ways. So it's kind of like easier to kind of like shift if you really have to. So that's really important. So my dear Pisces, you have Queen of Cups. This is you. Queen of Cups has this like really, really, really big cup, and she can actually fill everybody else's cup, right? I don't know, did you guys watch Jimmy Kimmel? And that's my favorite comedian, right? And what's his name? Like his sidekick over there. Man, what is his name? Anyway, so like the sidekick, they were kind of like Crown Royale, kind of like advertising, you know how they kind of like filter it in. So basically, oh my gosh, I cannot remember the Mexican guy that is like with him. So he kind of like took a chalice out, right, which we kind of use here in tarot, and he said that chalice, or he couldn't pronounce it. It was actually very cute. And basically he said it's a really fancy cup. So here you have a very, very fancy cup, And that fancy cup means it's filled. Like during your season, that's your job, right? Like, I mean, we Aquarians, we charge our batteries, we're trying to get our brain back and working, fix all the circuits. You're fixing all this emotional lack of flow. So just the way I have bruises on my knee and on my thigh, you are kind of like healing any emotional bruises, kind of like let the river run through it kind of a thing, right? So this is really telling me, so this is the upgrade. So you're going from this to this. It's kind of like spreading it around the world. So I don't know if you guys, this kind of like would tell me maybe you are either thinking about it, because after all it's a dreamy season, it's not a very practical season, but that's kind of like what is good about it. We put our dreams, this is almost like a new year resolution. I don't know why it doesn't really happen during Pisces transition, because it's really, really important, right? So we are like almost like halfway through it. And keep in mind that what's going to happen this week on 11th is Sun and Neptune, which kind of like rules you, will actually join forces, which really means, for example, if you have a business, and this is for everybody, if you have a business, or if you kind of like really thrive on being creative, let's say you're an influencer, even though I just really don't like this word, on Instagram, this kind of like Neptune, which is very imaginative and intuitive, is going to kind of like increase our desire to escape. I really have to tell you, I started to kind of like figure out how to never work again. How to kind of like go somewhere on the island where I can spend the rest of the life with my animals and friends, and how will I have the money to do that? And that's the Pisces dreamy season, and I really hope something productive is going to come through. So far the best that I came up with is, hey, let's play a lottery. So we are going to see how this really works. So you guys have something like that, but like your upgrade is very pragmatic, because when you go from Queen of Cups to the Empress, your cup is full at this stage. So right, so you kind of like conquer all of these 4 major lessons, and you are getting into that feminine principle, whether you're a man or a woman, right? So if you're a man, you are going to kind of like switch what is your ideal woman. Like if you're in women, let's say, like what is the partner that you want, what is the care that you want. You will maybe be interested in kids, both men and women. If you're a woman, you're going to start kind of like feeling where you need to be nurtured and pampered, right? She's not very much into kind of like self care. Let's say Queen of Pentacles would be, let's do my pedicure, let's do my manicure. Queen of Fire would be, let's get my education, I want to get a better job, I want to get more money, kind of like a career woman. Queen of Swords would be the studious type, or religion possibly, right? And Queen of Cups is, oh, you poor animal, you poor things, pretty much with the Empress over here, right? And I really like rendition of the Empress. I don't know if you can see the water over here. I really like the crown of stars over here, and this kind of like green Venus that is really coming through. Tuesday for you, Tuesday and Wednesday will be very, very important days. You also have 3 of Wands, and so these are 2 threes, and threes are also emphasizing that creative and artistic. And I don't know, like, I mean, if you guys are doing any of that, let's say graphic design, photography, even sculptures, it might be a masterpiece coming through this week. It's going to come deep from inside. You know how, you cannot have a masterpiece every day. You cannot be creative every day, right? And sometimes you fall in a hole, and it's really, really hard to get out of it, because I know I have been working in creative professions for a very long time, but not always you do things, but sometimes you just say, okay, I know the principle, I'm just going to kind of push it out. But this is different. This is like what is pushing you in the zone where you're feeling it, you're doing it like with intention, you're doing it for a purpose, right? And 3 of Wands is also indicating kind of like direction in which you're taking, that you're really clear. Like, I mean, you have these ships on the horizon, so friendships, relationships, partnerships, right? it's kind of like a focus over here. So since your cup is full, now you can give it to the other people. The Empress Venus is ruling Libra and it's ruling Taurus. So you can see very different approaches. Taurus is like homebody and cooking. So maybe your diet is shifting. Maybe you are creating some new meals. Maybe, oh, I'm not going to talk about restaurants. I don't know where you guys are, but Toronto is in a lockdown, and on Monday, oh, it's a big news, we are moving into gray zone. By the way, gray zone is also lockdown, except the strip malls, stores can open at 25% capacity. So for you, it's a vision. This also can talk about travel. It also can talk about long-term goals and kind of like direction where you really want to head. So there you go. You got the extra special birthday extended weekly over here. So last week we had this monthly. I guess all of you have been here, and I don't really think it was the best thing, because this is exactly why I don't do personal readings over here, because it's kind of like tedious, and you sit through somebody else's sign and it can be really boring, and I don't want this space to be boring. So let's go. Ooh, we got two. So which one do I go with? This one first. This one first. So Aries. Okay, Aries. Alrighty. Let me put your timestamp over here. All right, let's go. Aries, where is everybody today? Come on, people, it's not cloudy and crappy and everywhere, right? So ooh, you're getting cards coming through. You're getting Queen of Pentacles. This one is the Moon. Well, that's the Pisces coming through, and then you have a Seven of Pentacles reversed over here. So that's really interesting. Like, I mean, none of these cards is like you, right? So Queen of Pentacles, even though she technically represents earth signs, I will have to say I fully identify with this person, because she's very resourceful. She's using her abilities to kind of like create things out of nothing, right? So for example, she will be the person who will be shopping at Salvation Army, or buy material, create the clothing, decorate the home with creativity, right? So she is the one who is putting every penny aside, and then all of a sudden, ta-da, like things are really working out, right? So this can simply mean that you are maybe kind of like taking this hat on, which is weird because you have the Moon right after it, but let me get to it. And kind of like there is like some kind of like enjoyment or some kind of like bounty. Maybe you're reconstructing your budget. Maybe you're kind of like figuring out, as I said in Pisces reading, this card is about self-care. And self-care is like doing manicure, pedicure, whether this is going out or doing it yourself, kind of like beautifying yourself. You can see like she's very much like the Empress. She has a green dress, which really talks about kind of like a flow basically that really goes through it, because she's like understanding like this kind of like energy. But then it goes into the Moon. And Moon is like encountering doubt about the process, about everything, because this is kind of like putting Lego blocks together. And then Moon is somebody turns off the light. And it's like you're trying to do it, and then all of a sudden you hear everything collapses, and it's like, what is going on? Because something is coming through that is going to really shake you down. And I think I've seen that in your monthly reading, guys. Like, I mean, who is here? Kyla, she says Aries rising. So probably you really know, right? So the Moon is really talking, look at here, like we have the dogos and subconscious and things that are popping up, you know, like, I mean, almost like, hey, are you sure? Like any fear, any doubt that we have about ourselves is coming through. And we don't have 20/20 vision, but this is kind of like really talking about this Aries transition. It's always the worst before your own transition. So up to the 20th, so the next 14 days, it's going to be kind of like this kind of like things, especially 11th. For you, when is the 11th? Is Thursday. So Thursday and actually Friday next week is going to be very tricky for you. I'm not going to kind of like beat around the bush on that one. It is because you feel that you're starting this week in a glorious ways, everything is set up, and then it's just like, hey, am I wasting my time? Am I doing it? So for some of you, this could mean even repairing relationships and kind of like going in this direction, and you're going to feel all of a sudden that other people are not joining kind of your process. The moon can also talk about the jealousy. So it could be you, or it could be somebody coming in your life. It can be really overreacting, could be lots of tears, and that sort of things. So by the end of the week, you might want to also give up on crap, right? Seven of Pentacles is like upright, talking about the dude who kind of like is checking on his own efforts. So he kind of like bought this like tree, and he wanted a really nice, big, tall, luscious tree full of kind of like fruit, right? Now, he's getting a bush. So look, I didn't really buy, I didn't intend to have a bonsai tree. I really wanted like to have this like big thing. What am I doing wrong? Did I not fertilize it properly? Did I not plant it properly? It is growing some level, but that's not what I envisioned. So when this is reversed, right, it's even worse, because now the fruits are not coming through. So he's really wondering. So now this is abandoning certain things. It's kind of like realization that maybe some ideas are not doable or something. So with you, it's going to be a lots of emotional interference. It's just like almost like saying that you're driving and you want to put the radio on. You know, this old-fashioned radio where you had to kind of like take this dial, and then you hear in between the station. That's kind of how it's going to feel after the weekend is over. So I would not take this very seriously. You just like need to buckle up, just need to go through it, because sometimes we have these things happening for a reason. And for a reason is like that you really get clarity. You need to be introduced to the shadow in order to really know the light, right? Okay, so let's see who wanted to come through. The next one is Sagittarius. Hello, Chris. Good morning. Did you just wake up? Okay, so let's see Sagittarius. So this timestamp, timestamp, timestamp. Okay. Where are my mods today? Just like few mods. And then I cannot even make Barbie into a mod for some reason. I even tried to go in a backend to add you, and I see you under Barbie Kuczynski, but not under Barb. Just doesn't let me. Actually, I had a few other people that I really did it. Yeah, like you cannot make you blue. Do you know how many times I just like put you here exactly, add moderator, and it just like doesn't go blue. So I guess you had these things, right? Barbie had things posting and didn't want to post. I don't know what happened. Like, I mean, not me. I didn't touch anything. So, well, anybody knows. Like, I mean, that you, you are this master moderator. So maybe kind of like that's just what it is. So, all right, let's go next. Who did I say that I'm doing? Sagittarius. 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 Ow. Whenever I bend my knee, it kind of like hurts. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius. This one wants to come through. Ooh, that's... Oh, let me get your... let me get this. So people who are clicking through it. Barbie posts this like stamp so really quickly, but people who are clicking through it. Anyway, Barbie, I did send you the link so you can actually go on the site as well. I don't know, you need to click on it in order to approve it, right? I don't think that you did it as well. So you have death. I thought initially this is like a Knight of Wands, but it isn't. It's kind of like equally red and fiery. It's death. But it is transitioning. It's very interesting that you're getting Ace of Swords right after, which is a karma card over here. And then you have a King of Wands, and this one wants to come through. It's Four of Pentacles over here. So let's see what's the story here. So first and foremost, something has to stop. There is not debatable. You can continue dragging it, but you know what they say, if you hold a dead body around you, it stinks. People start asking questions. Even the good intentions are now being questioned. So certain things need to be dead and buried and put to rest, because only then you're going to reach the victory. there is like something big and something karmic that is really happening. It's kind of like really weird. You're not going to feel, most people say, oh, karmic happened, I'm going to feel the sense of satisfaction. Yes, this is going to feel like a victory, but almost looks like that maybe you're not going to take this graciously, or somebody's going to tell you that you're not taking it graciously, because King of Wands reversed is talking about a dude who is just really not what he says he is. So it is somebody who says, yeah, sure, I love you, I want to do this, but then they just like vanish, they're not there. And or like the person who would ghost you is basically ghosting you in King of Wands energy, kind of a thing. That's what I see. And as a result of that, you kind of like clamp up, right? It's the Four of Pentacles. He's like holding all of his like earthly kind of like possessions. It's kind of like mine, even though like, I mean, he's even covering his testicles over here. It's this kind of like really cute transition over here. And I cannot like but to notice this big cross which is behind him. So he is protecting something that is really dear to him, but at the same time not inviting people in. So this is kind of like leading me to believe that there is like some kind of like hurt coming your way, but hurt that you're kind of like coming on top, but you're not going to give yourself, and that's kind of like you're going to feel, oh my gosh, I dodged this one, I kind of like did well with this one. But at the same time, instead of it's kind of like knee-jerk reaction, almost like this King of Wands, that you strike back of some sort, and you're going to maybe block somebody and just say, this is it, you're not passing, you're not coming through to me. It could have been somebody, which could be Scorpio because it's real with Scorpios, and then we have a fire signs over here as well. It could be somebody who kind of like is getting on your nerves for quite a while, and maybe you have tolerated somebody, you know, like you just cannot get rid of everybody you don't like in your life, right? And at this stage is like, it's it, put a fork in me, I'm done, I'm not dealing with this. If you want us to continue this sort of things, is going to be different, way different, way different. And when I say different, you are not going to do the ABCD blah, blah. And that's kind of like what King of Wands goes like, because you are going to be so freaking annoyed that you're going to blast at them, kind of a thing. And then you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, what did I do? Like, did I really have to do it? But that's what basically happens when you kind of like bottle up a whole bunch of things. But remember, this is a karma card. You're clearing something up. Almost like feels like you have the karmic soulmate in your life. And you know how they are. They are like so intriguing at first, and they have like such a good part that you really want about them. Like, especially you are like a clever sign that really likes different people, especially if they're coming from a different countries, different culture than you are, that will be like way more appealing to you, right? And it's almost going to feel like that you want ordinary. No, I actually don't want ordinary. You just like met somebody who's just not a good fit. It's just kind of like, you know, the Cinderella story, you just cannot put the shoe on no matter what you do, even if you cut your fingers, right? So just kind of like land on your feet. If you have to take some time off for yourself, just do it, and kind of like everything will be okay. Just kind of like go through the process, and things will be done. Hello, Seeking Truth, your 0 degrees Pisces sun. So you're interesting cusp. You're like Aquarius Pisces cusp. I think I am sort of a cusp. Like they say 1 degree, but I guess I'm 2 degrees kind of a thing off. And so it doesn't kind of like push kind of like me entirely, but this is really interesting because you're always shifting in between the two. So that can be very confusing, right? From, oh, like you're sitting with a partner, oh, I love you so much. Well, you know what? Like, you're not very smart. Kind of like, it can be funny. So currently filtering people in my life. That's exactly what I saw over there. Let's see who is next. Which sign you are seeking truth? I don't know if I saw you before. God of Chaos. God of Chaos is a good thing. God of Chaos is kind of like organizing things. Pretty much we are living in chaos, so it's nothing new over here. So maybe somebody finds some order, kind of like in all of that, kind of like a magnetic field and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So, Capricorn. Chris knows when to wake up over there. Let me see, Capricorn. And the stamp. And the stamp. Capricorn. Capricorn. Hi, Charter. What is the stamp? Yep. Why is this? Almost like feels like greasy my little rocket book. Where's my knitting yogi today? That's right. I'm realizing I'm missing somebody. Oh, shoot. And I didn't reply to her thing. Man, I'm getting so forgetful recently. Ah, that's aging process. Capricorn. Next to Cap is Aquarius. Yeah. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Look at me. What do we have for Capricorn for this week? And then when we have the next week date, it's going to be new moon in Pisces, and that's going to be kind of like, let's just like lie down and fall in love and that kind of stuff. Well, you have also Queen of Pentacles. It looks like it's the energy for the week of some sort, right? The Emperor. So that's really interesting. Oh, this one wanted to come through, and this is the Temperance reversed. Well, lots of things happening here. First and foremost, there is Earth over here, but it's also there is fire. And Earth and fire, it can be like, I mean, that you have a really interest in somebody. Let's say if you're a woman, you're going to take a really, really good care of yourself, right? You are going to feel sexual, you're going to feel attractive, you're going to feel that you're like right where you are, you're going to feel that, I don't want to decorate your place, clean it, kind of like there is a freshness. This is connected with spring cleaning, sort of a things, sorting things out. Somebody who just simply enjoys smaller things in life, beauty, diet is kind of being changed. You want to change different foods, you want to serve those foods. It's just not enough to put the meat together or put veggies together. You actually want to lay it down on a plate, kind of like as a kind of like gourmet chef kind of a style. And if you're a woman, you're going to be catching an eye of somebody. So especially if you're single, it's going to mean that possibly somebody who is entrepreneur, or somebody who is, let's say, a banker, or government, sort of like a person who, let's say, is not somebody who is going to be Casanova, who is not going to lavish you with a whole bunch of compliments. It's rather going to be somebody who is rather dry, but it's going to be something about this person. It's going to be some kind of like a poise. If you're a man, it's going to be the opposite. You will be the one who has that poise and maybe a little bit coldness about it. But that's because the wheels are turning inside. Maybe you're going to kind of like lay eyes on this Queen of Pentacles, somebody who is just like that, well put together, and you know, like, I mean, how we usually kind of like are loosey-goosey over here. I know before I came to North America, it was always weird for me that people would go out in the store with curlers in their hair and kind of like t-shirts that are not ironed. And now I'm getting like a sloppy Joe myself, kind of a thing. Not Queen of Pentacles. She's going to have her clothes nicely, not ironed, but pressed, kind of a thing. All of things are going to be kind of like in the place, and smile to boot. So that's kind of like where I see this interaction. But I also don't see that things are going to really work out. It's going to be a spark. It's going to be something. And I don't know if it could be also something about the kids or pets. So it could be some kind of like outside event. It could be, I don't know. We see the mountain here, which is interesting to me. The mountain really talks about the strength. It's really interesting that he has this gold bowl over here and kind of like a life-giving, because the Emperor is really important in tarot. The Emperor is kind of coming through when we are fed with emotional kind of like fulfillment, that he says, okay, now let's go and kind of like create something out of everything that we have. Like, I mean, the Fool got these tools with the Magician and kind of like how they really work. So you got your trade kind of like carved with the High Priestess. He learned how to communicate without saying the words, right? And kind of like he understood the right from wrong. The Emperor says, oh, come on, like, it was really tough, right? Just relax over here. Let me feed you. And here it is. Let's go to school. Let's kind of like learn things. That's really interesting. When the Temperance shows up, it really talks about something not being doable. And even though there is attraction over there, I really think that these two people are actually very different. and they're so different, and that's what happens, the opposites attract, right? But they're so different that it doesn't feel something can really happen. In this case, it could be that these people are like, I mean, just having different schedules, or like, I mean, that all of a sudden you say something that kind of like rubs the other person the wrong way, or she's technically not stingy but frugal, right? He could be stingy, so it can be like that. This just one word that kind of like sets things off, because temperance in the opposite situation is talking about, hey, like, I mean, we can create anything. We can just create, like, I mean, Sagittarius. There's a little bit of horse, it's a little bit of human, right? But now, like, you see a horse, you see a human, it's like, well, what's wrong with you? No, of course I can't, right? So this is kind of like really realization, but really, nonetheless, you're going to have a fun week, you're going to have a flirtation, you're going to have some interest over here, and whenever this happens, we kind of like discover a certain aspect of ourselves. So I would enjoy if I were you. Nothing wrong about that, right? So let's see. Good job, Barbie. You know what I mean over there. And so let's see this. In different countries, shorter. What is this? Drinks and champagne. Cute. In different countries, that's right. Hello from Athens, Greece. Like to see you there. I have been in that city a long time ago. All right, so we have Cancer over there. You know what? Let me block some people over here that are giving Barb here a problem. There we go. No more issues. So now, Cancer, you are next. Let's put a timestamp so Barbie can enjoy like the rest of us. Cancer. Let's find your thingy over here. And Tiger is with his day, what do you call it? Dog walker. I don't like that name. It just like sounds weird, and it's really important. So I call him activity planner thing. So, Cancer, you are getting Two of Swords, and you're getting Knight of Wands, and Cap Rising. You're not gelling with your friend from abroad. I'm Cap Rising. Oh, that's what it is. And that's right, and I forgot to mention that Temperance is really actually ruling foreigners, and or something very, very different from you. So Cancer, like, it's lots of cards that really want to come through. So it's weird because I don't have lots of Cancers coming through, and you're getting lots of messages over here. So Two of Swords, Knight of Wands, Four of Cups reversed, Eight of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune Karma card reversed. So it's going to be a mixed bag week. Two of Swords is that indecision. Four of Cups in that this is indecision. And the Wheel of Fortune is like, why are things not coming my way? Kind of a thing, right? So this is really talking about the new moon. Like, I mean, this whole week is going to feel like that you cannot make your mind up. And again, this kind of connects with this kind of like Pisces energy, which we see over here. And look at this. It's a boy, and there's a little mermaid over here, and he's like so focused on his freaking cups. And instead of really realizing there's like something really special here happening, right? Here, she's blindfolded, and she's trying to make this decision. Did you ever try to hold the sword? It's pretty freaking heavy. Just don't take this kind of like whole kind of like archetype lightly, because it's a heavy burden. It's somebody who's really mulling over decision really, really closely, and they cannot find. It's always when you think you have it, you go to the other side, and so on and so forth, right? So this basically suggests that we need to encounter new energy, new ideas, new outlook on life. Simply when we really need to open up, like, I mean, how we need to change the stereotypes and everything, and we need to question ourselves. Like this morning, like when I wake up, I have a friend, and he and I usually text from 8 to 9 or 8 to 8:30, and we were talking about this new slaughterhouse that is opening here in a nearby kind of like a shopping, I guess, strip mall or something. I say, oh my gosh, what a disaster It's absolute disaster how this is going to be just this cries and the smell and death, and I don't know like if I really want to go shop there anymore. And and then it just occurred to me, oh my god, but I ate meat. And then I go, I will not eat meat anymore. He goes, me neither. And he's a Virgo. So it's kind of like really interesting just like that you need to really realize that you just cannot create kind of comments on the consciousness, but you really have to be the consciousness yourself. And then you have a Nine of Wands, and then finally you reach some kind of decision and you're moving forward. And that's another energy that I see this week. We are moving forward, we are stopping, we are wondering, other people block us over here, you're moving forward, but you're missing your freaking target, you're missing your goal. It's almost like when people get a reading with me and they are so focused on one person, and it is understandable because it is emotional bond that you have with somebody, you want to know what's going to happen, right? So that's why I have a karma reading, that's why I have a past life readings where you get more general, but this general, believe it or not, give you much more. Why? So for example, dear God, I really want to win this lottery. It's a $50 million this week, right? And then you really focus on that. Instead of focusing, I really want wealth and I really want to do it this way. So that way, if God is not there to kind of like influence this lottery, you just get to waste this one instead of kind of allowing this energy to flow and to be created around. And that's really important over here because there is like something that is happening to you, Cancer, that you're missing. And you're missing because you're overly focused. Maybe you're focused, this could be a guy coming through or somebody coming through, somebody who's very interesting. Nine of Wands is like so freaking interesting. It's the guy who is laughing all the time, who's having jokes, who's talking about his troubles or her troubles, right? And then they ask you out, they're like so into you, they're holding your hand. You never hear from them again. That's another one that ghosts, right? Even when he's upright, not because he's a bad guy, it's because that's kind of like Sagittarius energy, like everything is really interesting and going forward. So Sagittarians over here, cross watching, it could be some Cancer, like I mean crossing the path, and I'm going to maybe feel devastated that kind of like you're just the one that got away. Because this kind of like talks about falling in love of some sort. It could be like one of those things that somebody just enters your life and they're just like gone, right? Like we all had moments like that, and it could be that you never knew this person's name. It could be that you never spoke a word with this person, right? And that's why you're going to feel, oh my gosh, why is this always happening to me? It's going to be the self-judgment. It's going to be some pity of some sort. So kind of like don't kind of like really worry about that at all. So guys, you know what, with Nine of Wands, enjoy it. It's kind of like that interest in life. It's kind of like a spice, and spice comes and goes, right? Oh, look who's coming, look who's coming. Oh, hello. Safi has been promoted. She has been promoted. She's like now the chief sleeping officer over there. Yes, she sleeps on my ankle. Are you promoted to chief sleeping officer? And she is also avocado. Yes, when she starts talking, she doesn't stop. Yes, I think Tiger hired her as an avocado. So there we go. Hello, Heidi. Nice to see you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we're doing one more before we do the doors. Oh, here. Let's do the kiss. Kiss. Did we kiss you? She hates kissing, but that's okay. She has to pay. She has to pay her rent. That's how she pays it. The next one is Leo. Yes, this is a big Safi. This is a big Safi. Yes, who got promotions last week? Who got promotions last week? Yes. Can I go Leo? Can we do Leo right now? What do you say? Can we do Leo? Yes. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, Leo. See? She just kind of like wanted to announce herself with a big cat. How is Matrix? He's actually good, and he sleeps all the time. like when I got psychic reading once for Safi, one of my clients got me for my birthday psychic reading for my pets. So, and this woman is freaking wonderful from Seattle. I contacted her later when Tiger was lost, and she was like right on where basically that he's safe. So, but then she said that everybody loves Safi in the house, that she's the princess, that she comes over here because she feels this energy, she feels you, she feels the spirit world, and she also feels that she's more connected to me than ever, because after all we are two Aquarians, right? And two Aquarians connect with conversation, and even though she's avocado, her conversation is just limited to yes or no. But here we kind of like have this like higher level. But she said that Safi said that Matrix doesn't think, that she said it's okay, he's a really really good guy, but he really doesn't think. So that's what he's doing. He's sleeping most of the time, even though because of this knee, now every day I have this Tiger's auntie Dami going for a walk and or going to a daycare. So Matrix was coming out to kind of like really play with me. He really likes to be important, so he is my husband. It just, he never comes here. Well, he did come a few times, special times for the readings, so that's kind of like really interesting. So her pedigree is she's a blue point Siamese. She was like really really white with barely any trace of gray when she was born, but Siamese cats get darker and darker because they're black cats, right? But they just have this active gene. So Leo, lots of talking, and I'm going to put a stem here. So let me do Leo. So Leo, you have the moon, you have Seven of Wands, and you have death. So this is the Pisces energy, and it's kind of like really really intense this week. If you check the other signs, and I suggest not only to check your ascendant and your moon sign, but it's also good, like with this weekly readings, there she is again, to kind of like just randomly like pick the sign and just see why you picked it, right? And there is like this book that I have that I just randomly open and kind of like learn the things. And there used to be quote unquote university before, kind of like all you had to do is like just learn this book, and it's freaky how important this really is. It even has numerology stuff in there as well, right? From the science to numerology, etc. I think that Matrix is Taurus, so he enjoys really good food. And like last week he was sitting in front of me and I was looking at him and thought that he wants to be petted, so I pet him, and then he's sitting and staring. Then I got up, which I have to limp, and I said, "What's up, sweetie?" And then he keeps walking, jumps on the table, so that means he wants his treat. It was like super sweet. So Leo, there is like this world of unknown here. The moon is very intuitive, but the moon is also very confusing. So the same card can have completely different influence for your own personal energy. This is why when I ask for the readings, I have to remove this kind of like sign on the side because I finished all my personal readings for the clients, and now it's basically opening up to everybody else for the annual. But for example, for you, this is not going to have the same effect as, for example, for Pisces or a water sign or earth sign. For you, this almost can have a sedating effect. It could feel that you're a little bit stoned, kind of like in the situation. The moon is like kind of like trying to carve through the dark and trying to get to where you want to get. In this card, what I'm noticing, she does have a fire, so she does have a light. It's almost like immediate in front of you. So just don't move these big waves. Another thing that I'm noticing, I don't know if you guys noticing here when I come closer, it almost looks like a wishbone, this fire. So maybe you have to set your intentions in some kind of like progress. This also talks about a very, very dreamy nature. And also there is like this crescent moon just above her there. And this is again connecting because the next week on the 13th we are going to have a new moon in Pisces. that's going to become very spiritual, very selfless, and that's what we also see in the 7 over here, and we also see in the death card over here, and also 7 and 4 is 11, which is like that strong, healing, intuitive energy, right? It's kind of like given, especially if you guys have 11 buried in your numbers. That's almost like a mark. It's a special spiritual mark. Well, 11s, 20s, 22s, 33s, and 44s, right, can be buried in there, and each of them carry a purpose. So depending if you just have a seed or a nugget, or it's a little tree, or you have to become a tree, kind of a thing, right? So March 13th is going to be that love life of everybody is basically going to get a boost of romance, right? So it's going to be some kind of magic, and this is like that Venus-Neptune conjunction that is going to be happening this week. Is the Sun and Neptune, and the Neptune is ruling basically Pisces over there, right? Even here in tarot, kind of like they kind of like mix it up differently, right? So it's really, really important over here that you see what area in your birth chart is ruled by Pisces. Very, very important, right? So that can be completely different for any one of you Leos over there, because 7 of Wands talks about you're not giving up something. You fought for something tooth and nail. You just are holding freaking those bull horns. You're not letting go because something took you maybe forever to carve, maybe took lots of courage, and now you're not giving it up. Except this card is saying there is like something that came to an end. It's a natural end. You know, like how they talk about energy cannot be transferred, so hence you cannot die, you have to transfer spiritually. I don't know if I agree with that, because you see a candle, you put a candle on a table, and the candle comes down and it reaches natural end. Does it mean that now it lives somewhere in the separate universe? Who is to tell? This tells me this candle came to an end. Something comes to an end. So this is a 9, this is the ending, there is a death that is ending. So there is like some kind of like strife or some struggle or something that you're trying to push forward. This also can talk about being single. Maybe you are really, really adamant or doing things on your own without the others, and kind of like fight that kind of like thing. I almost like seeing this knight with a shield, and this dude over here just looks so like Marlon Brando, doesn't he? Like young Marlon Brando. What is this, Streetcar Named Desire kind of a thing? Freaking amazing movie if you didn't watch it, right? So check it out. He is basically deflecting a whole bunch of people. So you might have a whole bunch of people around you. Everybody maybe doesn't want to take you down. Like, so this, I don't know, for some reason I'm seeing parents, I'm seeing close people around you, and everybody's telling you, like, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And you're almost like kind of like incentivized to kind of like go in that direction. This is telling you don't. This is the direction you have been doing, and it's very, very, very important that you put a stop to it. This also could mean that you're getting somebody who is Pisces or Scorpio in your life, and this is really telling you be careful with both kind of like sides, because one is going to be too good to be true, another one is just not a good direction. So it's going to be a week of big decisions, Leo, so that's going to be really, really interesting. Yeah. So yeah, Saf is Aqua. She is February 5th, right? So Tiger is Scorpio, and Matrix, I think, well, I adopted him during Scorpio transit. Well, adopted him, found him, saved him, rather to say, from these kids that wanted to freaking chop him away on October 28th, and Tiger is October 26th, so that kind of connects them. But I really think he's probably Taurus. That would be my guess. So guys, now we are doing the doors and angel cards for everybody, correct? And then we are going to do the doors. So let's do the angel cards for everybody. So let's start from the beginning. Let's scroll back. So Kylie, you are getting abundance. I think, Kylie, you took this away from Chris. There is like something that's going to be about your business, going to be about the process. This is kind of like reaping the fruits, but it's really more to me than just financial kind of things. It's going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel good. So that's really, really kind of like a good sign over there. Kylie was first. Then Barbie, integrity. Make sure that you do things the way that your higher self would do, right? Because sometimes when we are weak or sleepy or irritated by someone, then we just kind of like want to get out. You're like an air sign. This is really calling for you to kind of like stand up for maybe people who cannot stand up for themselves, even if these people are people who you don't really necessarily like, right? Lorna H, you're getting truth. So you need to fess something up, or somebody will open up to you, or something really needs to come through. Like it talks about a hidden part of yourself that needs to be revealed in order for you to kind of like move to the next level of karma. Then what do we see next? Lynn Westbrook. Here we see balance. So it's kind of like a fine game, which means that you're possibly all over the place. You need to kind of pull yourself in the middle and kind of like be less enthusiastic and also less kind of like a downer. So kind of like pull yourself in a space where you're not too friendly, but you're not unfriendly, where you want to help others, but not at a cost of kind of like this affecting you. So that's kind of like the space you really need to be in. Kelsey, you have peace. You need to relax. You're allowed to dream, and just like you need to kind of like pull together with yourself. Anita Bumhoff, my Aquarius, you have courage. You kind of like make this leap of faith. So there is something new that you can start, and this is encouraging you to do that. And right here again, you want your card? Let's see, Safi. Let's see, Safi card. You want to pull a card for yourself? Here, pull a card for yourself. Come on. Pull a card for yourself. Safi? Safi? Come on. Which card do you want? Which card do you want? Point out. You can just point at a card. Yes. That one? Okay. That one. You have education, because you need to be trained for your new job. Good job, Safi. Good job. Okay. Did I do Lorna H before? Yeah, I did Lorna H. I did Kylie. I did Barbie. Crystal Smith. Oof, you're getting a whole bunch. Enthusiasm and trust and vision. So, it's almost like something so new is happening to you. You're going to be so freaking excitable, and there are like some really new energies coming your way. So that's absolutely amazing. Then, who is next? Chris. And if you guys didn't drop in, if you're listening and you're not saying anything, that's you're missing on angel cards. Obedience, Chris. Traffic issues. Actually, cop stopped me last week, the same day when I fell. Just before, he stopped me right in my freaking neighborhood. He said, "You just roll through the stop sign." So, but he just gave me a warning. So that's basically telling you, be careful. When you don't think you're being watched, you will be watched. Watch for the tickets, right? Very important. And who is this for? That's for charter. For charter commitment. What are you doing? Are you going to say yes to something, or you're going to jump in a new hobby or new stuff? Who knows? Something really weird is really going to be coming, but you're going to really like it. Maria Lantry, you miss everything. What do you mean you miss everything? Ooh, you're getting a blank card purposely that is left in, right? You know, I can pull it out. I don't want to. So why don't you just take a piece of the paper and write what energy you really want this week, and the energy is going to start being created for you. So that's absolutely lovely. And I have Nectarius. That's it, my Greek friend. You have intention. So you need to focus on your goal, and you really need to figure out what steps you need to take to get there. So that's going to be important. And did we do Heidi Swadek? And you're getting clarity. So something that has been pressing on you, or maybe you didn't get the solution, somehow the solution is going to appear. It's going to be really, really important, right? And who else? Crystal Smith. Did I do this? Crystal Smith, presence. And so this is connecting to God, to spirituality, to soul life, something like that is going to be very, very, very important over there. Bask into this presence, because it's going to kind of like give you a new boost, and almost like, I don't know why, I really hope nothing happens to you, but you know what flashed before my eyes? Operating table, and kind of like angels talking to you and telling you, no, it's not your time, you're not leaving, and you're coming back, and now you have a completely new kind of like test, kind of like moving it forward. So that's really, really important. And we have Hazel Gabara. So Hazel, I'm not answering private questions because we have lots of people, but I can pull a card for you over here. I pull a card, and that's enthusiasm. You need to kind of like really want certain things, and again, kind of like you open that energy up and you open the doors, and that's kind of like how things really, really, really happen. So there we go. So thank you. Let's go, and I'm going to close this right now, and that way you can ask your questions now. So let me put this maybe. And guys, look, when it's tarot, that's why if you really want timelines, then just go with Lenormand. I mean, I usually do Grand Tableau, but Grand Tableau is exhausting. It's huge, it's big, and I can just do one spread for more than an hour. It can go for hours. I mean, there are people who basically claim they can go for 10 hours, but yeah, I think that's a little bit kind of like you're losing a focus on this. So I still don't charge Lenormand the way I should, but kind of like this is like more or less good reading for timelines. Now, if you want a big picture or something that sort of like is in your best interest, then tarot is the best tool for that, and that's why a combination of the two is always the best solution. So don't kind of like limit to it. Will I do this in 3 months? Will I do this? Will I do this? Just think about, okay, please allow the energies to come and talk to me. So ask your question and then focus on it. So let's see. I got way too many cards. I cannot do this. So let's go. The door number, the left door, the center door, and the right door. So let me go back to you guys, and let me put a stamp here. So if you guys have been, if you chose door number 1 or left door, then you have a Knight of Cups. Not Heidi, what's her name? This new lady, Hazel. Is that what you asked? Is that was your answer? Door number left, door number 1, there's a Knight of Cups over here. Knight of Cups is somebody coming through, somebody showering you with attention and romance, and this is like clearly yes, and it's going to be some kind of like form of an emotional fulfillment over here. So for door number 2, oh, that's also yes. It kind of like talks about right choice and emotional fulfillment. Everything works. Somebody's good on the paper, somebody's good in heart. Something is just flowing in a really absolutely good way. Well, and the door number 3 is justice. you're going to get what comes to you, what you deserve, not what you want. So this is a tricky card, right? It's a positive. You're kind of like going in a kind of a new direction, but justice is, and in this particular deck, it's not in alignment, which really talks about sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less, right? But it's simply, it's something we cannot influence. That's why it's karma card, because we don't know what we did in the past lives. We kind of like had our hard drive reset. And sometimes, like through lots of intuitive work, we kind of like did find those crumbs and find a path. But this is a yes, but it might not happen with a big bang as maybe you expect. So just kind of like, wow, this was positive. You have a whole bunch of yeses coming through. All right. So in the second round, I'm just going to do the cards for mods. And so now we are going to do the second part. So let's see. Kylie, no problem to receive notification for when we live for Caturday. Make sure. Yes, exactly, guys. And honestly, I'm so ticked off with YouTube. I have to say I'm struggling for the last 2 years. Something happened. Like first year was like freaking amazing. It was just growing like crazy, my subscribers. And then my brother said, well, you need to check into the search engine optimization. So I started putting these tags on these things and spending so much time on it, and all of a sudden I guess YouTube saw like from doing nothing to just doing so much, and they just like froze. And then people told me like that my subscribers fell off, and they subscribe and they just don't see it anymore. And I really don't happen. I'm still in some kind of like YouTube jail, if you wish, for some reason. It's really pissing me off. You have people who are swearing, who are obscene, who are just disgusting, and like they don't have this kind of stuff. But it is what it is. I'm just taking it as my own karma. So let's continue. We have Aquarians. Yay! Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. So let's see. Timestamp. Oh gosh, I'm actually slow today in my readings, but it is what it is. I'm not perfect. So let's see. Aquarius. So I need this. So we have 9 of Wands. We have Page of Cups and 7 of Swords, which is really Moon in Aquarius over here. That's happening, which is very confusing. We are kind of like soldiering on. To me, 9 of Wands, and in this particular deck, this soldier here is not wounded, right? So wounded soldier is somebody who just ruptured their knee and who is just limping through it and saying, well, you know, it just looks so much I can do. Let's do this before I die. Not this one. This one is saying, I want to do it. I am so dedicated. I'm not giving it up. This is like if you ever watch Philadelphia or any of these Grisham's adaptations, movie adaptations, is like when people reject you, and they tell you even brutal things and go away. I don't know what was this one letter with Matt Damon. Was it not Raymond? Like it was one of those lawyers kind of dramas. You still persist. That's who 9 of Wands is over here. And then we have a Page of Cups. So this is something emotional and satisfactory. We are going towards something that pleases us, that kind of like we really enjoy. But the Page of Cups can also be a flirtation of a sort, right? When we are kind of like feeling something that really works well, that we really enjoy, that we really kind of like want to deal with, right? Page of Cups can also talk about us being lost or not knowing how to deal with that, because while generally this is a great freaking card, it's not so great for Aquarians because it's unusual energy for us. So that's where things actually don't necessarily work out properly. And 7 of Swords really feels that maybe this is kind of like what happens if we open up to this energy, because we like different, we like unique. So this energy is different, unique to us. But there's like somebody who just basically wants to take things from us by maybe flattering us, by kind of like doing different things. So be very careful. 7 of Swords can also mean that this is us and saying, no, you're not going to be doing these things to me, and I just really kind of like don't want to kind of like deal with this. So just kind of like be very kind of like careful how you kind of like process kind of like these things, right? So that's kind of like what is really, really important over here to kind of like get. So dedication is really important, so don't give up just because some other people are getting in the way or some other people want to take advantage of us. This could mean that we are going to say, nope, you know what, this is mine, this is yours, and off you go, kind of a thing. So it can be kind of like really pragmatic, like coming back on our feet, and we are kind of continuing our own spiritual journey. So this is clearly Sun and Neptune, kind of like joining forces. So this is kind of like being lost a little bit. So hey, you know what? If flirtation doesn't necessarily work out, don't fret about it. That's kind of like the best lesson to take out of this, right? So Kylie, if you forgot to hit the like button, yes, please do. So that kind of like helps. It's kind of weird. Not even getting good chat rates. It was actually 156 people over here already. So we need a little bit more people. I need to do something more. It's kind of like tough when every single, like, years something freaky happens. Let's go next. This one wanted to come through. And that's Gemini. So look at that, we have 2 air signs in a row. Gemini, let's fold it back. And the stamp. And the stamp. Gemini. So we have 9 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Well, look at that. It's kind of like something that you have in common with Aquarius. Whoa, and you have a 4 of swords. Aquarius had 7 of Swords, and you have a Queen of Pentacles. So that's kind of like a very similar energy, I would say, over here. 9 of Wands is, again, you're very determined to kind of like finalize something. Especially for you, 9 is going into the Ace of Pentacles. So you are reaching some conclusion over there. You are reaching something, you managed to get through. You know, like what? Like when somebody just like put a stop in front of you, waiting in a line, and those lines are always going to stay in my memory, right? Kind of like, to get in any store over here in Toronto, you have to wait in a freaking line, and it's minus 18 outside. So you just do this to Fahrenheit, you're going to see how cold this really is. And then somebody just like stops right in front of you, go, oh shit, and my, you know, like you're shivering, right? But this means you're just about to be stopped, and somebody says, no, off you go, you go. And so you just made this last freaking second, you glided it in. But then, you know what, this is really good. 4 of Swords means you really know that you made it. You really know that you were in this batch that maybe you were not supposed to. And this is kind of like really talking about gratitude. 4 of Swords, that's why there's like this big wall over here. You are kind of like really aware that, and you know what, this energy I really like, because sometimes when you get something by luck, you don't value it. That's why most people who win lottery, they just end up in a square one like within 5 years, right? This energy tells me you don't, because you actually know there was a really value of what has been given and what has happened over there, and you're kind of like really establishing yourself. So if you guys looking for some kind of promotion, for example, or you want to be noticed at work, or you know, like you kind of like are very incentivized to kind of like start a new process, whatever this is, even if this is like, let's say, how you bake cookies, how you cook it, something is really different. It's going to be something that is going to be changed forever. So it's like me, like when I used to cook cauliflower, very German kind of like style way, and I will cut it in quarters, and I will put breadcrumbs, like fried breadcrumbs in the middle, and that's how it's served. And I just couldn't imagine eating cauliflower any other way, until one day it was, hey, try to bake it, like bake cauliflower, and I tried it, never went back, never more breadcrumbs, and so on and so forth. So this is it, like you're pulling things together, you're being very practical, you're being very pragmatic, things are really organizing. This is a businesswoman, this is somebody who is kind of like going and pushing in a new direction. You're kind of like pulling your resources, you're having both Ace of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. So it's really good for business, it's really good for anything long term. So Gemini, make sure you play your cards right this particular week. So that's really, really important over there. Did I put your stamp? I did. Who's next? Who's next is Scorpios. Scorpio is next. Let's see. Scorpio. So, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and King of Cups. That would be you guys, right? So remember how for Pisces I had a Queen of Cups, now I have a King of Cups. Technically this should be Pisces and the other one should be Scorpio, but I see this as a Scorpio and I see the other one as Pisces. So it's really interesting energy. And again, it is kind of like figuring out what you really want. That's what I see. So you are looking into kind of like a different aspects, and that's why Scorpio always does things with intention. So that is really important, right? It's kind of, why is this not, it's not letting you guys, not letting you Barbie to do it because you're not mod, and I cannot make you into mod because this freaking thing doesn't do things. Can I at least pin this message so it's always there? We'll see. At least I can do this. So Seven of Pentacles is like this evolution, kind of like this works, if this doesn't work I'm going to do more of this, less of this. So this can talk about shuffling your portfolio, this can be talking about shuffling your work at home, organizing things better, but still kind of like progressing on the same path you are with a little bit less interference if you really wish. And this is kind of like coupled over here. You're kind of like really letting go of crap. You're letting go of people who bother you. You're letting go of things that bother you. This is not the best way to transport in the boat. You don't really want to have a whole bunch of swords poked into it, right? So which means it's a limited time to get on the other side. But this person is so trusting that even this thing is better than where he was. So you can imagine that this turbulence was too turbulent. There are certain things that really need to go in different direction. So this is the action. Swords are really fast, or could be words, or could kind of something needs to be communicated. Some wishes need to be communicated, right? So 7 and 6 is 13. It's a death. So there is like something that has to be left behind in order to get this fulfillment, right? So it's tit for tat kind of a thing. Not in a negative way, in a kind of positive way, for you to feel fulfilled, for you to kind of like feel that you can grow. And that's kind of like the essence of your own sign, that you're always refreshing yourself, who you are, you're always excelling. And if this is about interest towards somebody, that somebody could be a foreigner, somebody could be from a different city, somebody could be moving away from you. Maybe this is like where things are really happening, that you're kind of like trying to reconfigure how to do the things in the future. So, but in any case, I really like the fact that I'm seeing that you're strong. You're kind of like sitting on your throne and you're really enjoying what kind of like you really want to do. So, well, I approve. Like, what were the other comments that were kind of like blocked? This is freaking crazy. Well, I see the other ones are okay, and I don't know like what's happening. Barbie couldn't post the stuff. Just didn't let her post. I would see that she's quote unquote posting, and she said I'm going nuts, but it wouldn't post. So, just freaking YouTube. Barbie's also in a YouTube jail. Virgo. So something about Libras. That's what Barbie and I have in common. So Virgo. Any Virgos here? We don't have knitting yogi here today, so I don't know. I think I have Mercury in Virgo, which is a natural position. So let's do Virgo. Virgo. I'm a mess. Oh, that's hilarious. That's kind of like how I describe myself. So here we have 4 of Swords reversed and the Chariot reversed. The 7 and 4, it's a healing energy. But there's like something that you anticipate that is not really coming through. It's weird. And then you have 3 of Swords and 4 of Wands. Man! Brr. Brr. And I spoke to one reader, and he said that whenever he gets stuff like that, he would never continue reading, right? And that he just like does the reading all over again. He's super sweet, but I really don't think this is effective. Mind you, he has more subscribers than I do, so I guess his method works better for the masses, but I kind of like really feel that's where you need to really apply yourself. This is one of those weeks. Four of Swords talks about a gratitude, but it's reversed. No gratitude. Gratitude is almost like the solution out. That no matter what happens, this is that yes man. Like your car breaks down. Okay, thank you God. This happened for a reason. I need to learn something from it, right? Oh my gosh, they're like big freaking flakes of snow outside. It's just this big. Unbelievable. And I didn't know that we are waiting for the snow today. So good thing that I'm not walking tiger. This chariot is about moving in a new direction, except you're not moving in a new direction. The chariot can also talk about having snafus with motion forward, with cars, with transportation. That will be the proverbial Mercury Retrograde, except we are not in Mercury Retrograde. So most of the weeks, Virgo, you're going to be pulling your hair out, feeling weirded out, feeling that you're missing the opportunities. Maybe somebody's going to pull a rug under your feet, and that's why you have the Three of Swords, which kind of talks about some kind of like rejections. Funny enough, good news, finally, is that this is all happening for a reason, because you are supposed to let things go. You're supposed to realize, you know, the weeds from the real grass, and you're supposed to kind of like push things away. So the reason why I'm not expressing gratitude is because you're not feeling it, right? And somebody is like trying to tell you, it's almost like a gaslighting that I'm seeing it over here, and it's for you to understand, to pick it up and to let go and to get rid of this energy is basically the healthy energy. It's not embracing codependency, it's rather kind of like releasing it, and that's why you're actually pushing to the next stage. But it might take until the end of the week. I would say not before late on Wednesday, just before I guess we go into this Sun and Neptune in Pisces kind of like thing. You're going to start feeling, okay, you know what, I'm ready. Wherever it is, the next stage ready. You have 2 4s as well, and it talks about stability and balance, and it's really, really important for you. So anybody who is not kind of like there to heal you, to kind of like soothe you, has to go. It has to go. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it at all. So we have 2 more signs, but we have 3 things, because I think Pisces is one of them. And it's going to be Libra. Libra. Stamp. Oh my gosh, I'm diligent with stamps today. Verb is not going to freak out. So Libra. Yes, Mercury is still messing up with stuff. So 5 of Cups, you 6 of Wands, and 4 of Cups. That is so freaking weird. What sense do I make out of this? So it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Literally. That's kind of like how I would show this. Look at here. This is a mermaid from 4 of Cups. You see her here, right? She's just coming to the boy. She wants to cheer him up, but nothing can cheer him up. So there is like something emotional that you guys are coming through. There's like a sense of a loss over here. You are looking and hoping, and you really, really want to go in this direction, right? And so it can talk about dropping something, or losing a job, or losing a husband, losing a boyfriend, and then they come back and they hug you, they kiss you, they tell you that you're the one, and you feel like $1,000,000, you feel like you're on top of the world, just for the whole freaking thing to repeat. And now you feel even worse, because then you're beating yourself over your head and thinking like, why did I even trust this? Why did I even go there? I'm back in the situation. So it's kind of like it's going in some kind of like apathy. So you're going to be going through the range of different emotions this particular week, right?
So keep in mind this entire energy is 15. 15 is the devil card. And devil card is the codependency. Codependency does make us do shitty decisions, right? With codependency, we do stuff that just makes us feel good, suit us in the moment. But it doesn't resolve the problem whatsoever. In fact, it complicates things. So if you do anything like that, you might end up the end of the week with complete lack of energy, complete lack of enthusiasm of moving it forward. It's almost like that you would need something super freaking special to push you kind of like in the end. To me, this is the ultimate depressed state. So guys, you know, like what is good for depression, kind of like look into well, antidepressants of course, but they're natural things such as exercise, being in the fresh air, and don't do silly choices. That's very, very important message over here. Anything that might not really go there. Hello, Knitting Yogi. I was missing you. Look at your yoga workshop. I was just saying, oh my freaking god, I didn't respond to the letter. It's just like, oh my god. So Knitting Yogi, I hope I can do it here. Well, Knitting Yogi does yoga, as you know, right? So how many of you do you think it would help if she, for example, records something in yoga? I was trying to get her to do Qigong, but I realized, okay, she needs to also learn this, and it takes for freaking forever. It looks simple, but it takes for forever. So maybe if she puts something like a brocades in yoga, sun salutations, or something easier for those of us who just have a bumped knee, something healing, spiritual. She does Kundalini yoga, so this is freaking awesome. So anyway, I'm going to send an email about that. Good to see you, sweetie. Let me get your angel card that you missed. Yin and Yang. That's the one. I guess you told me about it, so that will be interesting. Exploration. That's kind of like what we were talking about, sweetie. So let's see. Why do I have two? Because one is Pisces and one is Taurus. Okay, guys, which one is Taurus? Which one is Pisces? Which one is Taurus? Which one is Pisces? Let me see. My psychic. Let me see. This is like literally like, you know, when they tell you like, what do I have? A triangle. I would say this one is Pisces and this one is Taurus. Yay! Yay! I win a cup of coffee. Awesome, and I get to pay for it. So, okay, so Taurus, and this one is Pisces then. Yeah. So Taurus, you're the last today. So. Look at you guys. You're freaking awesome. I'm so impressed. I have a whole bunch of little psychics over here. I love you. That's awesome. Okay, so Taurus. Oh, Scorpio didn't put a timestamp. I hope you have timestamp, Madame Barbie. So let me put, this one is the last one. And put the Taurus over here. So let's see, Taurus. The Tower. So we didn't see Tower in a long time. And what is this? So Tower, and this is a fallout from Tower, right? So you have 8 of Swords. Nothing you can do about some crappy situation. You have to sit and watch and kind of like choose between the good and bad and good and evil. 6 of Pentacles, you need to share things. 6 of Cups, it's things from the past coming through, and 3 of Pentacles is asking for some kind of collaboration. This is a really mini reading. It's kind of weird because Pisces came through just like that. Oh, thanks, Chris. And now this is coming through for you. So, ta-da! The Tower happens. Tower is devastation. Tower is when we really didn't want to move on nudges, you know? Come on, stop doing that. Smoking is not good for you, right? Just please don't do it. It bothers me. So, now the Tower shows up and says, okay, how about cancer diagnosis or some kind of scare like that happens, right? And you go, oh my god, right? So the Tower is like something that comes like a bolt, like a shock, right? It kind of like hits everybody equally. So usually that affects health. Usually then affects our kind of like essence of who we are, right? So think about, for example, financial success in life. It really depends on what kind of family you come from, your drive, what kind of people you're like affected with in life, what kind of like surroundings you have, you know, like that I don't know which movie it was, that the guy made a wish, wanted to have lots of money, and he was kind of turned into a drug dealer or a pimp or something like that, right? So the Tower is its realization, oh my gosh, so that my wish did come true, so better kind of like beware what you wish for, kind of a thing. And then the fallout is Eight of Swords. So for some of you Tauruses, it could mean that you're maybe dealing with a clandestine affair over here, with somebody who has a kid, somebody who's keeping you like their dirty secrets, or you having somebody like a dirty secrets, because there's something here that is stolen, or maybe somebody's ghosting you. Not because they really want to, but because they're really busy with their family, and it just always feels like being a third wheel. It never feels right. There's no balance for anybody. And the High Priestess is telling you to really reconsider. There's another one. So this happened, their shakedown happened, but then she's immediately coming through and saying, what the heck you want? Because look at her, she's all kind of like tied up, tangled up, doesn't know how to get from the situation. It's something, it feels like somebody has this invisible freaking strings on you. And she says you can get out of it from inside. You don't need to necessarily make the moves outside, because the energy will direct that way. Are you sure that you are acting as your highest self over here? It's very, very important to kind of like absorb. And then is like a Six of Pentacles over here that really shows up as, look at him, he's kind of like sharing the wealth. This can kind of like mean getting an advice, understanding kind of like certain things, especially there are two sixes that can talk about a soulmate. It can talk about you kind of like need to kind of like join the entire thing over here. So 15, 17, 24, 32. So it's a kind of energy of 5, which is not very stable, but 5 is Hierophant, which is basically your energy, and it's kind of like showing here two completely different facets over here. Six of Cups means that something from the past is coming through. Maybe you had issues with somebody from the past and they kind of like are not communicating with you. They might resurface this particular week. It could be something kind of like financial dealings of some sort, or you might need somebody's help. But this is going to take a little bit more, because it looks to me there is like some person in your life who you're not on a good terms with this person, and it almost looks like that each of you is pointing fingers at the others. So there is like some kind of like need of being benefactors. We have children, we have children over here, and this is really need to nurture something, nurture some future processes, and that really kind of like needs to go in this direction. So Taurus is going to be interesting week. The weekend is going to open up with a big bang. Something is going to happen throughout this weekend that you have to really question if what you're doing is right. You will really have to question. If you come up with a good solution, and with the right solution, the solution with the best for everybody's best interest, you will be rewarded. If you don't, somebody else is going to be rewarded. So it's kind of like your choice. It's almost like you cannot lose, except if you go into the selfishness and kind of like you tend to kind of like accumulate and grab things toward you. That's kind of like the energy of the sign. So that's the energies you need to fight against, right? Just like us Aquarians, never kind of like putting the anchor down. So that's kind of like going to be one of the energies that will question you during this week. So be very, very aware of that. Yeah, Chris, then pay attention to this as well. So let's do the doors first, and so that way you can squeeze in another question here, guys. Doors. Get another question. So door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. Let me undo this. Yeah, I need to go back on the screen where you are. So let me send this to Barbie. Barbie, I don't have Scorpio over here, so we'll have to figure out when they were. But other than that, so that's why I love this rocket book. Look, 1, 2, 3, and it's being sent to Barbie already. Okay, so let's do the second round. So the door, left door is the Hermit. So you're not coming up with a good solution over here. You're tapping in the dark. So you have to figure out either different ways of dealing with that, or you might get rejected, or the energy will be blocked. This is more or less talking about tapping in the dark, meaning the solution still might be somewhere down the road, but not right now. So the door number 2, whoa, it's partnership, it's success, it's fulfillment. So the answer is yes, right? And it's going to feel like strong kind of like energy. And then door number 3, we have 4 of Cups reversed. This is really talking about, again, the energy. The energy is not directed in a proper direction. Maybe you want something where something else is coming to you, but you cannot get that something else while you're not focused over here. So be very careful what you wish for. This is like where it is. I would say no, because you're focused on the wrong thing. But if you kind of like set this aside, something else might come through, and that's going to be really, really important, right? Okay, so Barbie, that message on the top is absolutely amazing. So I think you need to do that in the future, so I can always pin it on the top. So that's kind of like what's needed. So what we are going to do next, I am going to grab a card for each of the mods, and we can kind of like run with this. So actually did start writing the mods as they were coming, but then I stopped because I started to talk to you. It's kind of like much easier for me when Tiger is not here in the morning, but it's very expensive for me paying this dog walker every day. But that's what you do for your baby, right? So the first one was Kylie. Australia was the first one in the house. So let's see. Kylie, you are getting the High Priestess. This is the inner communication, right? This is like when you don't really need a word. So you need a tarot reading, you need to pull tarot cards, you need to meditate, you need to connect to your higher self and talk to your higher self. And then the answers will come. You will totally know what's going on. You'll totally know in which direction you're going. And Barbie was next. Barbie was next. And Barbie, you have Page of Rods reversed. There is like lots of motion around something. Page of Rods is very fast, but this might be going to some kind of like dead end, or you're moving too fast in certain directions, so hence you are not checking all of your dots on the I and crossing the T kind of a thing. So the devil is in the details with that, and be also very careful not to burn yourself. Page of Rods is a young energy. It's very it can be very hostile energy as well. Maybe you have an issue with your child. I don't know if you have children, or how little I know about my mod. Barb, do you have kids? Or somebody much younger that is really, really kind of like getting to you, or maybe really getting on your nerves, right? So it could be somebody who can actually speak bad words. It's more like a Page of Swords. Page of Wands would be more like somebody's actions are very infantile sort of a things. Then Lorna H was next. Lorna H. Lorna H, you have a Queen of Pentacles reversed. So be very careful not to be some prima donna kind of a thing. This is a prima donna energy. It's somebody who, like, this is such a beautiful energy. Queen of Pentacles, a wholesome, it's everybody's woman, everybody can connect with, right? And everybody wants to strive to be this person. So this is not that everyday person you want to have a beer with kind of like a thing, as they do it in American politics. This is rather a person that you want to aspire to be. It's an idol, right? And it could be like, financially, I want to do what you're doing. I want to have this beautiful house. I want to have such a beautiful clothes. I want to have a poise. But when this is reversed, it's almost like fake it until you make it. So that's kind of like really important here to note, that you are going about something in an inauthentic way. So I don't know what sign you are. Lorna, but you really have to figure it out how to kind of like really pull in, how to connect with who you are, how to connect what you really need and what you really, really want, because then she's going to come on top and then the energy is going to flow in a much, much better way. Ooh, Barbie collected this for me, and then it's Chris. It's Chris, thank you, Barbie. Ooh, Chris, I'm getting like 5,000 cards over here, so I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do one. You. And whoa, you're getting the world. That's a freaking awesome card. It's a karma card, and it's the now card, so it's kind of like my half karma card because it's happening this weekend. Open 4 freaking eyes. The world means you're going to the next stage. Something is released, something is obtained. It's not a victory, but it's almost like you're going to feel very light on top of the world, and you need to allow yourself to breathe in this energy. It's kind of like the summit of some sorts, right? You are going to also maybe tap yourself on the shoulder. So it's really good to have those lists of gratitudes. I'm grateful for having this. I'm grateful for achieving this. And that's kind of like where you're telling the universe, I get it. Thank you. I have been working through all these energies to obtain this. And that way you kind of like being pushed into the next stage or some of development. So there you go. Oh, you're Gemini, Lorna. Thank you. And who else is Needing Yogi? Needing Yogi, Needing Yogi. And you have Knight of Cups. You have a gentle, loving energy, which is kind of weird. The Virgo energy was like, woo, bizarre and weird. But for you personally, it's going to be something loving and expressing and filling your cups. So allow yourself to the other people to give you all kinds of compliments and kind of like to enjoy the attention. And that's going to be very, very important over here. So there you go, guys. So I really enjoyed today in spite of like when I sat on this chair was like, oh my gosh, this knee's hurting, but it's hurting next to nothing when I'm in a sitting position. Now when I start to move, it's going to kind of like remind me it is there. So anyway, I'm onward to the next week, and I'm at this stage really, really actively thinking how to revamp my channel. So anybody who has ideas or something of a sort, let me know via my email. I just don't want to do the same old. I haven't done Access series in a while just because I was not enthused ever since the pandemic started. So in a year almost, as you can tell, because people are having special issues with relationships, and I just don't want the reading to mess them up. But I think I'm ready to maybe go back to that. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And just keep in mind that because of this freaking YouTube jail, as I call it, I don't know if it is, if it isn't, I have to figure out kind of like how to deactivate what I did and reactivate, because so many people wrote to me. It's like I'm not kidding you. I think at least 50 emails. Oh, go subscribe to this channel, so I'm not getting notifications and that kind of like sort of things. It's kind of weird. The way around this, guys, is to get on my mailing list, which is in the description, and that way you still get notifications, because I really don't know what's going on with YouTube. I'm even thinking about possibly opening, and hopefully nobody took Caturday on TikTok and posted there as well. I'll see. So it's just like an extra place to kind of like upload, so it's not a really big deal. So soul contracts would be good. On monthly base, you mean? Something like that? I used to have the karmic readings, and that people really didn't react to it well. I don't know. It's worthwhile trying a whole bunch of stuff. I'm absolutely open to many, many things. So we'll see. So that's a good connection. You still get notifications, so thank God they didn't get rid of you. Well, they didn't get rid of the mods. But so many freaking emails, and that all happened when I started to do that search engine optimization of some sort. So now for the last 2 months I completely removed it. I'm doing this in a completely nonsensical way against my training, but I'm just trying to do kind of like grassroots kind of a thing and just do it this way. So guys, I'm going to put some music on for goodbye and a rendezvous, and I can stop recording this. I'm just still recording it for just in case. You never know what the hell can happen. So let's play some musica over here, shorter thingy, and I'll see you next week. And if you have any other suggestions, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much, guys. Loving to see you, and let's have a really, really good energy this week. All the best. Let's see the music. Oh, that one is quiet compared to the other one, but here we go. I can turn the volume. It's really quiet. That's the best. Oh, there we go. Guys, all the best. Have a beautiful week. My little psychics on the chat line. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Barbie, let me know if you have any problems